Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is David Cantu, and today I want to try something a little different. We're going to call this segment Cinema Deviant Storytime. And here's the graphic. No, there's no graphic. I'm kidding. I wanted to try something a little different. I've been trying to tell this story for a while now. I'm trying to plan this out. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and wing it and talk to you guys, just like you guys are here with me. I've been wanting to tell the story of how I got a certain something in my possession, and that something is the Batman the Animated Series Complete Collection. I've been looking. It was about like 2009, and I've been looking everywhere for this thing. The places that I did find it, it was going for about $200, $210, something like that. And I didn't know. I didn't want to pay $200 for a set, for a DVD set at that. And I looked everywhere for about 6 months or so. I'm that kind of guy that likes to try to find a bargain. So I'll look and look and look. It doesn't bother me how long it takes me, as long as I find a pretty decent deal. And finally, I did find it, and that deal ended up being on eBay. I found it on eBay, so I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I found it for the very reasonable price of I think it was like $105. So I was like, okay, cool. I can do that. It's still a lot of money, but I feel like I can do $105 as opposed to, 200. So I was like, okay. So excited. I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I ordered it, and I was like freaking out internally because I'm like, I'm actually gonna have Batman the Animated Series, one of the best animated, shows that I've ever seen. It still is and always will be one of the best animated series in my opinion anyway. Great show. So you can understand my excitement whenever I had it coming. I was getting shipping updates saying that it was on its way, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I kept tracking them. You know how you get excited whenever you're getting something in the mail, you have that tracking number, you're like checking that tracking number like every day to see where it's at. So I was the exact same way. So finally I got it in the mail. I opened it up. I'm like, oh my god, this thing is beautiful. It looks so great. There goes the back. There it has this really cool Batman. It's almost like a slip case, slip cover, but it's clear plastic. So it does have, I'm sorry, does have, it says Batman the Animated Series is DC Comics Classic Collection there. Same over here. So that's really cool. I was so excited, man. It looks so damn cool. I was like, oh my god. At that time, this was like my holy grail. So I had to just hold it and just gaze upon its beauty. And then slowly opened it. Slowly. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. It comes like in this cool, like almost like a cigar box type of case. Has Batman, kind of, you can see it there etched into the case. I was like, man, this is so cool. And at that time, I was freaking out. And the one thing that I did notice, I was like, it's a little scratched up, like a little scuffed up, like some of the plastic. I don't know if you can see at that time. I was like, okay, well, maybe it just got tousled around. Not a big deal. I'm like, okay, no big deal. I have the whole set. That's all I need. It has this cool Batman logo on each side. And then this Batman logo on the other side. Nothing underneath, nothing like that. Just a cool case. I was like, cool, man. Opened it up. Like, whoa. See, it has this cool, like, Batman picture in the inside, like, kind of like diving down into the city. So cool. It's like, man. Okay, now I'm going to set it down here so I can show you guys. Comes with this really cool booklet. And this booklet gives you basically like production notes and like cool little, art for each of the discs. Has the titles and everything, what it has in the inside, the special features as well. That's really cool. See here, so yeah, it had a whole lot of this in it. I was freaking out because I honestly I've never owned any. At that time I had never owned anything quite like this before. So I was like, wow, this is so damn cool. You know, some cool production notes in there. I was like, man, this is amazing. And then the one thing that it did come with was it came with like the back. It came wrapped up, and it came, you know, like the back sheet that some Blu-rays and DVDs come with. Kind of tells you the contents, what's inside. I was like, okay, cool, awesome, that looks great. Like shows everything that's inside. And then I started to look a little bit inside, and I'm like, okay, it's a little weird, but all right. And it comes with, as you can see, two disc sets there, 2 DVDs. But the one thing that caught my eye was that it's just kind of in cardboard, right? Like a cardboard, you know, cover, cardboard back, and it does have the individual disc holders inside. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, it looks kind of weird, I guess, but well, all right. I guess it just came like that. And it does have all the discs inside, all the volumes. And then I heard that. I don't know if you guys heard that. Let's see if you can get it closer. That. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's almost like a sticky kind of sound. I'm like, all right. Okay, so I opened up the last one and hear that again. I'm like, okay, but it looks really cool. So go to this next one, and then I see that some of the, as you can see there, the front casing has like some little bumps on it, like it's kind of gotten banged up a little bit. I was like, well, that's not good. I looked at the back. The back kind of has like something similar. It's all like little scratches and it's banged up. I'm like, okay, well, screw it. I don't care. I have the whole set. So I'm keep looking. There goes the rest of the discs. The holder, all the holders have all the discs there. Well, that one fell out. And then there's a bonus disc in the back. I was like, okay, cool. Let me put this aside. And then I started looking at this again. And I looked at it, and I'm like, okay. And I could look down at the case, look down at this. Okay. I noticed that the casing there on the back cover is in this, it's a plastic case, like an actual, you know, hard case that DVD sets usually come in. This is not a plastic case. So I was like, kind of confused, but still kind of happy at the same time, because you can imagine, I have the whole set. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care. So I'm gonna watch them. So I watched the DVDs, and they were fine. Like, you know, I enjoyed them. I pretty much, I think, went through at least like a good 2 seasons or so. But there was something about this that still bothered me. And I kept looking at it, and everything seemed so cool, so seemed so legit with it. And then I noticed, you know, little things. I'm like, okay, that Batman logo, it's a little off-centered. That one's perfectly centered. Like, okay, I guess I don't know, whatever. Maybe it's just a defect. Okay, I'm like, tried to think nothing of it. I was like, okay, cool. And then I started to realize more. I'm like, I started to look more at the case, and if you can see here, they're just kind of stacked on top of each other, you know. And again, that kind of bothered me. So I started kind of looking into this. I'm like, okay, you know, maybe this was like a different run, you know, for the set, like a second printing, and they wanted to, cut costs. Maybe that was one of my first thoughts. I'm like, okay, it's like, but if they just wanted to cut costs, they're really cutting costs, because there's a part here where I'm telling you, I'm hearing like tape. So I look on the back, and there's tape there. I don't know if you can see it right here at the bottom. These couple of disc holders are taped together. So I'm like, okay, now this is starting to seem fishy. So I started to look more into it again, kind of a little further into it, and I couldn't find any like hardcore information. But then I started going through the discs just to see if maybe something was wrong with them. I don't know. I just kept looking at everything over and over with a really, crisp eye. I was just kind of looking over everything. And then I saw this disc, which is the bonus disc. And if you look very closely, I'll give you a second to spot it. Spot it? It says special features bonus disc. Bonus. What the hell is a bonus disc? So at that moment, I realized, I was like, okay, there's something not legit about this. There's something not kosher about all this. So I put that back. And I popped the disc in, I popped the disc in before I put it back. And it looked fine. All the features played fine. So I was like, no, this can't be like a reproduction. This can't be. It's so good, it looks so good. And then I started to look at the booklet a little bit, trying to see if I could spot anything weird. And the booklet looks amazing. Like, it looks fantastic. Even down to like some of the animation stuff in there. And then I started to kind of look at the front, and something struck me as weird again. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Give you a second. All right, have you spotted it yet? This is gonna be like freaking Blue's Clues or something. Okay, if you guys haven't spotted it yet, it does say Batman the Complete Animated Series. Not animated, animated. So at that moment, I flipped out. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Animated. This can't be a simple, a simple defect. So I started to Google a whole bunch of stuff about, the Batman Complete Collection. And then I put Batman the Animated Series in Google. And what I found was that this is a bootleg version of the set. And as soon as I read that it was a bootleg version of the set, you could probably understand my frustration. And almost literally steam was shooting out of my ears. I was so mad that I got had. I was so excited when I got it. But that excitement went into anger as soon as I found out that I had been sold a bootleg version of this set. So my first reaction, I'm a little hot-headed sometimes. So my first reaction was to get on eBay, and I emailed the guy, and I was like, "What the hell?" I did that too. I'm like, what the hell are you selling me, man? Like, you sold me this bootleg copy. This isn't cool. I paid, good money for this. I figured this was legit. I paid $100 and whatever dollars for this set. I want some answers. The guy emailed me back, probably, I think about a day later or two, and said, well, I'm going to assume this is the overall tone. But he was like, I didn't know, that's what that was. I get this from a third party, and I'm just a seller. I didn't know. I'm like, bullshit. You didn't know. I was like, don't lie to me. I know that you knew that this is impossible that you wouldn't know that you're selling illegal merchandise. You know? I was like, this is a bootleg. I don't appreciate that. I want my money back. So the next day, the guy, answers me again. Well, I can't give you your money back. I'm like, okay, well then, I'm gonna be, contacting the authorities. And again, I flew off the handle. I'm just spouting out stuff because I'm mad. I'm so furious at this point. And I told him I'm gonna contact the authorities because this is insane. I need some sort of money back for this or something. This needs to be fixed. Get me a new one then. Get me a brand new one and send it to me. I'll send you this one and we'll call it even. And the guy said, well, I don't have a brand new one. They're all the same. I looked into it and these are all the same, ones the one that you received is the one that I have in stock, which I have like 12 of. And I said, okay, something needs to happen. I need my money back. He said, well, I can't give you all your money back. I was like, okay, well, give me most of my money back then. Because I'm either that or I'm going to call the authorities. He's like, no, I can't do that. I'm like, okay. All right, we'll see. I let a day go by. And in that day, I went through all the discs. And I looked at them really good. And let me see if you can see this. You're probably going to see the reflection in the thing. But they're really well done. I mean, some of them was probably scratched. But they even have the imprint right there, which I started looking into, and these are the actual discs, but they were taken from the actual volume sets, the individual volume sets that you would buy separately. They were taken from there and then just, packaged in this newly, done package. And I took that day and I'm looking at everything and I'm like, you know what? This is pretty good. I mean, for a bootleg, it's a pretty good bootleg. I calmed down. I tried to calm down as best as I could. And I said, you know what? This is a pretty good bootleg. I have the whole set, technically. It's not official, but it's a set. These are the official discs inside the sets. So, okay, at least that's a plus. Besides the bonus disc, which I don't know. That's another thing there, but somebody doesn't know how to spell. So yeah. So I was like, you know what? This is a pretty good set. It looks, for a bootleg, it's a really good bootleg. So I contacted the guy and I said, you know what? Okay. I'm not going to call the authorities. I'm not going to go further into this, but I do want, pretty much all of my money back. I said, I'll be willing, we can call it even if, in total, I'm paying $35. And the guy emailed me back, and he was like, you know what? Okay. I'll go ahead and refund you the rest of your money. And, this total purchase for this set will be $35 for you. I was like, okay. All right. I can live with that. I can live with that because, again, that the official set at that time, it's probably going for less now. I think you could probably find the official set for probably about how much I paid for this bootleg set back then, about $110, $115. So he was like, okay, cool. I'll go ahead and refund you the money. He refunded me the money. I got the email alert from my PayPal and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, all right, see ya. That's it. I'm not dealing with you anymore, and I'm warning people. And I did. I warned a couple people that I knew that that were in search of this set. I told them don't buy it on eBay because it's a bunch of bootlegs, and so I've had it since then, and I only paid $35 in total. I guess after all the headache and all me flying off the handle, the frustration, steam coming out of my ears, in the end, the total that I paid for this set was $35. And I have Batman, the whole Batman collection in this really cool box set. again, it's not official. Unfortunately, sadly, it's not official. But it's a really, really good bootleg. So if you don't care about that kind of stuff, if you don't care that it's a bootleg, I'm sure they're still selling them out there. People probably still have their hands on some stock. I haven't really looked, in recently, but I'm sure you could probably find it for like $50 now. So I mean, if you're still looking for something like this, don't care that it's a bootleg, and it does have the actual discs in them, then I would suggest maybe, I don't know. I don't condone. I do not condone. Let me just get that out of the way. I do not condone looking for bootlegs. But if you happen to be, strapped for cash, but you are looking for this, I mean, it's not a bad deal. I got the way it came into my possession. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for a bootleg. It just kind of happened. It fell into my lap, and instead of going through the headache of calling the authorities and things like that and getting people arrested and stuff, I just went ahead and took the deal, and I basically had them refund most of my money. So it kind of worked in the end. It was frustrating, and it's still the thing about this now is that every time people walk into my movie room, and they're like, "Oh my God, you have Batman the animated series, the whole collection, the whole set." I'm like, "Yeah, but there's a funny story behind it." So I always have a story to tell now. Whenever people see it and people freak out that I have it, I'm like, "Yeah, I have it, but I don't officially have it in a way." So anyway, I've been trying to tell that story. I've been trying to make a video telling that story. If you guys have any questions regarding this set, then please let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any stories regarding, bootlegs that you guys have come across, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already. I really do appreciate it. And again, thanks for watching. If you guys like this stuff, then let me know as well in the comments. I'll try to see if I can muster up some more Cinema Deviant Storytime stories for you guys. And with all that being said, catch you next time. Bye.